Goats are everywhere, on farms, mountains, and fields. But most people never realize the hidden diversity among them. Beyond the ordinary dairy or meat goats, there exist breeds so rare and unique that even experienced farmers may never see them in their lifetime. From tiny pygmy goats that can fit in your arms to majestic Markhors with spiral horns reaching toward the sky, these breeds are living proof of nature's creativity. They have adapted to extreme climates, produce the softest fibers, and carry genetic traits essential for biodiversity. Humans have depended on goats for centuries, for milk, meat, wool, and even cultural rituals. Yet, some of these breeds have remained hidden, surviving in remote mountains, harsh deserts, and secret islands. Imagine a goat with horns twisting like a corkscrew or a golden coat so shiny it almost glows in the sun. These are real goats, and their stories are about to blow your mind. While many people imagine goats as medium-sized animals grazing in fields, there exists a world of tiny but mighty goats. These miniature breeds are not just adorable, they are incredibly hardy, intelligent, and surprisingly productive. Pygmy goat from West Africa. Pygmy goats hail from the tropical forests of West Africa. They were originally kept by villagers for milk and meat, and have adapted to survive on sparse vegetation in harsh conditions. Despite their small size, these goats are robust, energetic, and extremely social. Their height is between 16 and 23 inches, and their weight ranges from 20 to 35 kilograms. Their coat is short and dense, varying in shades of brown, black, and white. They can live from 10 to 15 years. Pygmy goats are highly social and enjoy being in groups. They're intelligent, can be trained to follow commands or perform tricks, and are excellent climbers, often scaling rocky terrain with ease. These goats are not widely farmed outside hobbyist circles and require careful breeding to maintain genetic purity. Fun fact: pygmy goats are known for their playful jumps, often leaping several feet in the air despite their tiny size. Farmers sometimes call them little acrobats of the goat world. Nigerian dwarf goat. Nigerian dwarf goats were first domesticated in West Africa and later brought to the United States. They are miniature dairy goats, renowned for their high-quality milk despite their small stature. These goats stand about 17 to 22 inches tall and weigh between 18 and 32 kilograms. Their coats come in a wide range of colors: black, brown, white, and even spotted. They usually live for 10 to 12 years. Nigerian dwarf goats are extremely gentle and friendly. Their milk contains higher butterfat than standard dairy goats, making it super creamy. They're perfect for small farms or hobbyists. Their combination of small size and high milk yield is pretty uncommon, and purebred Nigerian dwarfs require careful management. Fun fact: a single Nigerian dwarf goat can produce milk comparable to some larger goats, making them tiny milk powerhouses. So, let's talk about some other miniature goat varieties. Beyond pygmy and Nigerian dwarf goats, there are a few more miniature breeds that have been developed mainly for pets and hobby farms. The kinder goat, for example, is a crossbreed between Nubian and pygmy goats, and it really combines milk production with a compact size. Then there's the mini La Mancha, which is known for its unique tiny ears and a super friendly temperament. These goats are honestly fascinating because they're perfect for small properties or even urban farms. They're intelligent and playful, and they often form strong bonds with humans. Plus, they adapt well to various climates, while still maintaining those hardy traits that make them so special. Now, even though these miniature goats are pretty hardy, they do face some risks. Overbreeding with larger goats can actually dilute their unique traits, and a lack of awareness might lead to neglect or poor breeding practices. Imagine holding a goat in your arms, and it's not just cute. It's smart, playful, and produces milk that's richer than what you'd get from a full-size dairy goat. That's really the magic of miniature goats. While miniature goats impress us with their size and playfulness, there's actually another category of goats that captivates people with their long, flowing coats. These goats aren't just visually stunning. They produce some of the world's most valuable fibers, like mohair and cashmere. Alright, let's talk about the Angora goat. This breed originates from the Angora region of Turkey, and honestly, these goats have been prized for centuries for their mohair, a soft, shiny fiber that's used in luxury textiles. Angoras made their way to Europe back in the 16th century and eventually spread worldwide, admired everywhere for their elegant appearance. They're medium-sized animals, usually with long curly coats that are white or cream in color. Most Angora goats weigh between 45 and 60 kilograms, and they can live for about 12 to 15 years. Their temperament is gentle and docile, but they do need regular grooming to prevent mats in their super soft hair. While they adapt well to moderate climates, they're pretty sensitive to extreme cold or heat. Now, producing high-quality mohair isn't easy. It takes skilled breeding, intensive care, and specific feeding to get the best fiber. Here's a fun fact. The hair of an Angora goat can be spun into fabric so luxurious and soft that it actually rivals silk. And get this, a single goat can produce around 5 to 6 kilograms of mohair each year. Next up is the cashmere goat. These goats are native to Central Asia, especially Mongolia, China, and the Himalayan regions. They're famous for producing cashmere wool, which is often considered the softest, warmest, and most luxurious fiber in the world. Physically, they're small to medium-sized, and their coats are dual-layered, with a soft undercoat that gives us cashmere and a coarse outer coat. They usually weigh between 40 and 50 kilograms, and like the Angoras, their lifespan ranges from 12 to 15 years. Cashmere goats are hardy animals, able to survive harsh winters, and they're known for being gentle and social, often forming strong bonds within their herds. To harvest the cashmere, they need to be combed or sheared every year. Now, cashmere is rare because each goat only yields about 100 to 200 grams of usable fiber per year. Plus, overgrazing and habitat loss are real threats to their populations in native regions. Here's a fun tidbit. Cashmere was once reserved just for royalty and wealthy elites. Even today, a single kilogram of raw cashmere can cost hundreds of dollars, all because of its rarity and incredible softness. So, what really sets long-haired goats apart? Well, both mohair and cashmere are in high demand globally, which makes these goats pretty significant from an economic perspective. Their long, flowing coats and elegant horns make them visually striking, that's for sure. And even though their coats are delicate, with the right care, these goats can actually survive in some pretty harsh climates. It's kind of amazing, isn't it? Long-haired goats are rare, not just because of natural scarcity, but also due to mismanagement and hybridization with common breeds. Maintaining pure lines is, honestly, crucial for preserving their unique traits. Imagine a goat standing on a hilltop, its silky white coat flowing in the wind, a living masterpiece of nature and human cultivation combined. While some goats are famous for size or fiber, others captivate humans with their appearance alone. Rare colorations, unique patterns, and striking coats make these goats living artworks. The Golden Guernsey originates from the Channel Islands, particularly Guernsey. It's a rare dairy breed celebrated for its beautiful golden coat, gentle temperament, and high milk quality. When it comes to physical characteristics, their height is usually between 65 and 75 centimeters, and their weight ranges from 45 to 55 kilograms. Their coat is a rich golden or apricot, sometimes with lighter shades on the underbelly, and they typically live 12 to 15 years. These goats are extremely calm and friendly, with a high milk yield relative to their size, and they're well adapted to rugged island conditions. They're rare because they're limited to certain islands and small farms, and crossbreeding has threatened the purity of the breed. Here's a fun fact. The Golden Guernsey's milk is rich and creamy, perfect for making cheeses with a distinct flavor. Plus, its coat also glows beautifully in sunlight, giving it an almost magical appearance. The Appenzeller goat hails from the Appenzell region in Switzerland. Known for its unique spotted and multicolored coat, this breed thrives in mountainous regions and is a symbol of Swiss heritage. Standing about 65 to 75 centimeters tall and weighing between 50 and 60 kilograms, Appenzeller goats show off coats in a variety of colors: black, white, brown, and combinations, often with really striking patches. They usually live around 12 to 14 years. These goats are hardy and sure-footed on mountains, intelligent, and adaptable to harsh climates, with strong herd instincts. But they're rare because their population is limited in their native regions, and crossbreeding has diluted those unique patterns. Here's a fun fact. Some Appenzeller goats have patterns so distinct that farmers can actually identify each individual goat just by its coat. Coat colors are determined by unique genetic combinations, making each rare pattern precious. Some genes for unusual colors are nearly extinct, which only increases their rarity. And believe it or not, rare color patterns can even affect market value, especially in miniature or fiber goats. Preserving these breeds requires attention to genetic purity, selective breeding, and awareness about their uniqueness. Many rare goats are kept in specialty farms to ensure their survival. Now, just imagine a goat whose coat is so striking, it looks like it walked right out of a painting. That's the magic of breeds like the Golden Guernsey and the Appenzeller. You know, some of the rarest goats in the world don't live on farms. They actually live in remote, rugged mountains where survival is a real test of strength, agility, and intelligence. These goats are not only beautiful, but also ecologically and culturally significant. First up, the Markhor goat from Pakistan. The Markhor is Pakistan's national animal, and it's known for its majestic, twisted horns. Found in the mountainous regions of northern Pakistan and parts of Afghanistan, Markhors are truly wild and symbolize the country's wildlife heritage. When it comes to physical characteristics, they stand about 65 to 115 centimeters at the shoulder and weigh between 32 and 110 kilograms. Their coat is light brown with a white underbelly, and they have long hair on their throat and chest. Those spiral-shaped horns? They can grow over 1 meter long. Markhors are expert climbers, able to scale cliffs with ease. They're social animals, usually living in small herds, and they're primarily herbivorous, feeding on shrubs and grasses. Now, why are they rare? Well, they're threatened by hunting for their horns and habitat loss, making them an endangered species with limited populations. But there's some good news. Community-based protection programs in Pakistan have actually increased their population, and ecotourism has helped raise awareness about their importance. Oh, and here's a fun fact. The twisted horns of the Markhor are so unique that each individual has a slightly different spiral pattern, almost like a fingerprint. Next, let's talk about the Bezoar goat. The Bezoar goat is native to the Middle East and Central Asia, and they're considered the ancestors of most domestic goats, which gives them a lot of historical significance. Physically, they stand about 70 to 100 centimeters tall and weigh around 40 to 50 kilograms. Their coat is made up of coarse outer hair with a softer undercoat, and it's typically grayish-brown. Their horns are long and just slightly curved. When it comes to behavior, these goats are extremely agile and perfectly adapted to rocky terrain. They're quite shy and elusive, so they're rarely seen by humans. Like other wild goats, they're herbivorous and survive on sparse mountain vegetation. Unfortunately, their populations have declined due to hunting and habitat fragmentation, and they're really difficult to domesticate because of their wild nature. And here's a cool fact. Bezoar goats can survive on barely any food, making them perfect examples of mountain adaptation. So, let's talk about some other mountain-adapted rare goats. The Alpine ibex is Europe's high mountain goat, well known for its massive backward curving horns. And then there's the Himalayan tahr, which is found in the Himalayas. These goats have thick coats that help them survive in the extreme cold. Mountain goats, are absolutely crucial for ecosystem balance. They control shrub growth and, at the same time, serve as prey for predators. Protecting their habitats is really important because it ensures biodiversity conservation. Just picture a goat standing on a cliff edge, its horns catching the sunlight as it surveys the valley below. These mountain survivors are nature's ultimate climbers. While some goats are naturally rare due to habitat or genetics, others owe their rarity to careful crossbreeding. These experimental or hybrid goats are often bred to combine the best traits of multiple breeds, whether it's superior milk, hardiness, or unique appearance. Kiko x Pygmy hybrids. Kiko goats, originally from New Zealand, are known for their hardiness and meat quality. When crossed with Pygmy goats, the goal is to create compact, resilient goats that grow fast and are ideal for small farms. Their size is usually medium-small, and their coats can be short or slightly curly, with colors that vary quite a bit. The horns are usually small to medium, depending on the parentage. These hybrids are hardy and adaptable to various climates, and they're friendly, making them suitable for hobby farms. They also retain some of the playful nature of Pygmy goats. Now, why are they rare? Well, there are only limited breeding programs and a specific market demand for those hybrid traits. Fun fact. These hybrids often surprise breeders by producing more milk than expected for their size. Cashmere x Angora crosses. Breeders sometimes cross Cashmere and Angora goats to produce goats with exceptionally soft, luxurious fibers. The idea is to combine the Cashmere softness with the mohair sheen. These goats have long, soft hair with a slight curl, and they tend to be medium in weight. Their coat colors are usually white or cream, though sometimes you'll see lighter shades. In terms of temperament, they're gentle and sociable, but they do require a lot of maintenance for grooming and fiber harvesting. Why are they rare? Crossbreeding requires skill to maintain quality fibers, and production is limited to niche luxury markets. Fun fact: one such hybrid goat can produce twice the softness of regular mohair, but still retain durability for textile production. Experimental miniature and colored hybrids.